Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to Fisherman Huddle. Thank you guys for joining the show today. We're going to go over some very fun tips. Goes out to the subscriber who commented and said, "Hey, break this thing down. I'm new, I'm brand new, and I just want to, catch bass." I'm going to show you how to do that today at Fisherman Huddle. The year of the Giants. This is 3-pounder, easy spot on the Colorado. Hello, guys, and welcome to Fisherman Huddle. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'm going to have a great time. We have a great show, very informal and impactful show today. Actually, I'm doing this show because the subscribers said that, hey, I'm a new bass fisherman. I just need some help. What can I catch bass on? And so I'm going to break it down and show you that today. But first is the mystery tackle box. Check out misterytacklebo.com, where you can explore and check out great baits and great lures for a low price. They may have promo codes available. Sometimes they do to bring down the price. At one point, they had it for $5. Your first box, they may have something, but if they don't, I'll leave a link below. You can use my promo code and get $10 off your first box. So what they do is they jam pack great lures and great baits into the box for different times of the season. So we are in a transitional season. It's still cold. I would still say it's fall because of the weather changes. It's really slow going into the spring. So I would say beginning of spring baits and lures is great, a lot of great fun. Go out with your friends, have a great time, have contests. So check out misterytacklebo.com and get it popping. So we are here. As you can tell, we have a plethora of baits and lures. I mean, you have all kinds of stuff going on here. I mean, you have square bill. You have this cool thing, catch big fish on. You have your frog. You have your whopper plopper, Colorado blade. That's one of my favorites. You have your popper. What else is going on here? You have your jerk baits. That's a cool color. You have all these things going on, and it can be overwhelming. As a new beginner, man, I tell you, my first experience walking down the aisle, I'm like, man, so many great things, so many great lures. I watched so many videos, but over time, it narrows down to certain baits and certain lures. So I'm going to show you some baits and lures that you can use that can help you catch those big fish. So let's forget about all this stuff and focus on some specific baits and lures. And the most simplest one is the worm. Throwing the worm, Texas rig style. Genius and Fluke Master has a video on that. I'll leave the link below. They show you how to set it up, where to throw it, how to throw it, and how to use it. But it's a great lure to use. Very great lure to use. I've used it so many times. Caught a lot of big fish on this specific lure on a worm. It's basic, it's simple, but I've caught a lot of fish on it. And moving along to one of my favorite lures, I've been wanting to get the trench hog for the longest. I finally picked it up at Bass Pro Shops. I didn't have it, and it took forever, and I finally got it. It's the Guggen Baits trench hog. You get it at Bass Pro Shops. I like Guggen Baits. I like those guys. They're a lot of fun. And moving right along to I know I'm forgetting something. this up. Hold on. Now you know that you're a bass fisherman when you leave your lures and things like this. This is one of my favorite things. I don't drink, but you know, I like it because it's a cool thing to have laying around. Awesome. This is one of my favorite. It's the Strike King Perfect Plastic. The setup is a 3-weight on this, a drill in. You can pick this up at Bass Pro Shops, even at Walmart. It's the KVD Perfect Plastic. I like it because it's clear. Very, very good bait to use. Moving right along, you have the popper. Very, very cool lure to use as well. And I'm going to go through a little bit of movement with the time I do have. With the worm, you basically throw it out. You just kind of give it a little, really, really light taps. You know, with your rod, just kind of jerking a little bit. You just kind of, this is how it will look. Just kind of moving around as on the ground. Just kind of moving it around a little bit, like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Give it 3 cycles of doing that. Then I start into reeling and moving it. But it's really, really light. You're gonna make sure it's as realistic as possible. Looks like a worm. You have to picture in your mind, okay, I'm making it look like a worm. So it'll be like a 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. You actually move it. And that is the breakdown of how you use a worm. Now, with a trench up or creature bait, you want to kind of angle your rod a certain way to where the creature bait is moving like this, not like this. So you want to make it as realistic as possible. So I give it a couple nudges, just like the worm. I'll give it a 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. You know, I'll pause like a couple seconds. Then I'll speed it up and keep my rod slanted. And I'll give it a 1, 2. Let it sit for a little bit. 1. And all these are really, really light pops, man. So you just kind of like a really, really slow. It's good for grinding out and searching for bass. These are very good for grinding out searching bass. You see a lot of bass fishermen, they'll throw out throwing creature bait, or a worm when other things aren't working. How you move this is very, very key. I learned this through trial and error of almost 10 years of bass fishing. I tried so many ways. So you throw it out, you let it sit, and you'll give it 3 pops. 1, 2, 3. Let it sit. 1, 2. You give it 2 cycles of that, and then you start to reel. You give it a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and you start to reel. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and you do that. You pause for like 2 seconds, but that's a really slow reel. I would say probably out of a scale of 1 to 10, I say a 4. So you just kind of reel about that much. Move that bait really slow through the water, and that works. I've seen people just rip it, just throw it out, rip it slow. They'll pop it like 4 times or whatever, use like a jerk bait. But through trial and error, that way of movement has worked for me everywhere I've fished, every single place I fished. And so that's a quick breakdown of how to move these baits and lures and certain ones. And thank you guys for your time joining me today at Fisherman Huddle. And go out, get it popping, do your thing, catch the biggest. That's the goal as a bass fisherman, to master lures and catch the biggest. And also, if this has been helpful for you and you enjoyed the show today, subscribe to Tactical Fish the Nature Boy and join and get more videos, because it's popping, man. You can scroll down and check out all the videos you want. I have videos on poppers, how to use this worm, and also I have videos on this, and also my favorite, the frog. So subscribe, get more videos, and until next time, remember, keep it popping.
Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming.